Hey guys, Trev from the Struggling Artist Podcast, and I want to talk to you real quick about Struggling Artist Record Club. The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Today, our guest is Bucky Farek from the band Old Rochelle out of Lowell. It took us a while to get this episode going, but I'm happy I had a chance to sit down and talk with Bucky. Stick around to the end of the episode to hear a song from their album, Pony Steps. This is episode 309 of the Struggling Artist Podcast, Struggling with Old Rochelle. It took a while to get here, but we're here, and I apologize for all the problems that I had in the past that we had to cancel on.
Yeah, no need to apologize. Even work like things like that usually work out. Like the last time I was getting over, I had pneumonia real bad.
Oh, whoa!
And I was thinking to myself, I might have to cancel. So I was so nervous every single day, like if I was getting better or not, or if it was enough. I kept writing it out. It got to the point. It was real bad, but then it got to the point where I was like, I think I'd be able to make it, but I'd be coughing all the time. And I was like, should I still tell him? I didn't know what to do. And so it was almost like perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, because it would have been a weird conversation. Yeah. Coughing all the time.
Yeah. The last, that last one, we had a little meltdown after the election. Nothing, it's not even that. I'm just like really disappointed with the American people.
Yeah. That's all I say. It's not like it's not, everyone knows that thinks about it. It's not that I'm bummed out that something you like lost. You're disappointed in I was telling people I was just those words, disappointed in humanity.
Yes, that's basically where I was at. Yeah.
Does anyone think? What the hell's going on? What is it?
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
The whole fuck your feelings bullshit. It's like all these.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I spent many years not giving a shit about anything, and then when I started caring, I'm like, this is why I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I've been in therapy for years now, and but the whole thing was I was always disgusted with humanity. People can do better and don't, and it took a long time to kind of change that, but now I'm I
know. And with something like that, I mean, I'm sure your therapist told you, because same with me, I've been to therapy, that stuff's out of your control. It's not good that you're smart enough to realize that. That's all that is, right? But the thing that's supposed to hopefully calm you down over it and help me too is that's out of your control. Anything that's out of your control, you can't really obsess about or. Yeah. You
got to try not to anyway, right? Do the best you can and. Yeah. Go from there. Oh man. So let's talk first. Let's talk about Lowell. Tell me about Lowell. Lowell is the first time I ever went to a show there was back in January at Taffeta, right? Was that January?
Was that my show?
Yeah.
That was the first time you've been to Lowell? That's awesome.
Well, Lowell for like a show. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think I saw
you there too. I was right behind you a bunch of times, and sorry to catch you off. My accordion player Tony was talking to me about you.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to say hi, but then you were talking to. I didn't want to I don't want to bother you.
Oh, you could have just butt right in, dude. It's like, no, that was an awesome venue. Is it? They're still around.
Yeah, they're still around. That is an incredible venue. I mean, I'm surprised we played there. I'm like thankful we played there, but I don't know if we're gonna play there again. But unless they invite us back, that'd be great. I did talk to the owners about it. They're nice. But yeah, that's an incredible venue. That's like a high level.
Yeah. So is like, tell me, like I said, I don't know much about what's going on in Lowell.
Yeah, me neither.
But like, is that where did you grow up in the area or?
Yeah, I grew up in Medford. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Medford. I never even knew about Lowell growing up. I didn't even know it existed. But I grew up in Medford and then went through the whole system there. And then and then I moved to Lowell with my wife in 2009. She was my girlfriend back then. So 2009. Yeah.
And what was the music like there at the time?
Oh, that's like Lowell just hit me at the right time, because I've been doing music, playing shows since I was 17 or 18 or whatever in Boston and all that stuff. And he always tried to get better and better and better all the time and go through some kind of journey, whatever. But like Lowell is like, it just everything went together when I was in Lowell, because I really very quickly met a really great group of friends, like music friends. Like there was this open mic that they were doing at the Word then, where my friend Packy from The Only Things was like the host, and he would do that every like Wednesday night. And somebody told my wife about it, so I went there doing open mic, and I became friends with Packy, and then everyone that was associated with him. It's just like I instantly was in this group of really great, nice people that it just made me happy to create, and that's why I started doing all my stuff there.
That's awesome.
Stuff, yeah.
It's Old Rochelle, right? There's no the, right? There's no the.
Yeah, I took off the.
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago I took off the, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, has that the sound, like the sound of Old Rochelle? Is that like what you've always played that kind of sound? And it's like it's kind of like a rootsy Americana. I don't know. Like I enjoy it. I just to me there's too many genres, so everything's rock and roll, right? Everything's rock and roll.
Same thing. It like almost like bums me out when we start going with genres and stuff, because it's all rock and roll.
Yeah. So has that been the sound that you've always like tried to get though?
No, not always. I started off. My first bands were all like. My first few bands were that was part of was indie rock, like real indie rock, like the lo-fi, like Sebado type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Was happening in the mid '90s in Cambridge and Boston and stuff. I had a band called I joined a band called Tapili with my best friend at the time, Ryan, and he it was like indie rock stuff. It was also like like some screaming and stuff. So they even call that emo back then, before emo became that.
Yeah, it became what it is. Yeah.
What it is. But they called it like us emo, like because it was like this lo-fi like scream thing, whatever. But it was also like melodic. So it was like it was like bipolar type. So it's like So that, and then I just music like that, just any kind of like songwriter like stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like that, I guess. I don't know. Like since I like I got into there was a time in my life where I got way into like old country music and stuff, and then like the subsequent after that the 70s, like sort of like the old, almost like honky tonk kind of like what is it, like that they call that the outlaw type stuff, like that just kind of evolved from there, so that kind of like area, like from like Hank Williams type stuff to like Waylon Jennings type stuff. Like I was like fascinated by those couple of decades of music progression, like in that style. I love that pedal steel sound. I love that bending the strings, and sad songs and stuff like that. So I don't know, Old Rochelle just kind of came out like that, but I always like rock too, and like doing stuff with like loudness and energy too. So I hope it's a mix of that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's definitely a good blend. And like, so we'll just go to that Taffeta show real quick. Like there was so many different types of sounds on that bill. But the cool thing is like every sound felt like they all worked together. You know what I mean? They all worked well. Like if someone like on paper, if you look at that bill, you're like, how is this going to go? But it was like, but every band kind of like flowed well with each other. You get what I'm saying? Like, and everyone's good people, right? Mike Kane had hit me up and he was just like, he was telling me, we're going to do a show with the Rattlers. I'm like, what? I like freaked out. Like, cause like, I didn't think they were doing anything anymore. So I was just like, oh man. And, and then, so like how it all came about, like just that night to me, that was one of my favorite shows of the year. And it was like right at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And like, so I had never seen the Rattlers play, and then I had never seen you all play, and I had just heard, because I built that clip, the little like, the little promo clip I did. So like that was the first time I heard your music, and I'm like, this is really good. And I was like, just thinking about how well it does, like, because technically, like, it's kind of like a punk bill, you know what I mean? But like, but I was like, but Michael Caine and the Morning Afters, they're like more Americana than not, you know what I mean? And the Rattlers are just what they are, and Coffin Salesman is just, I mean, they're just a band that like they can go anywhere. So everything just fit well, you know what I mean? So like, I just remember watching you guys perform, like I was like, this is really good. Like I was into it. And anytime a band has more instruments than just like the normal ones too, like I'm going to pay a little more attention, Yeah,
no kidding. With Tony with the accordion, I couldn't believe the Coffin Salesman. Like that was. I mean, all three of those other bands were amazing. Like I knew Michael Caine. I think he's the one who contacted me about the show. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I like their like gritty, like Americana, like rock stuff. And then like I couldn't believe the first time me seeing Coffin Salesman. Like that was just like that was like layered and like just beautiful and also loud. It was just rad. And then. Yeah, like the Rattlers at the end, that was just crazy. That was just like unbelievable. Like all the people up there, and then that style of music. That was a crazy show. Yeah. And I think it was because everyone was doing their own thing. Like I think that's what made like the common denominator. Everyone was like naturally doing what they do.
Yeah,
like, their own thing, and that's like the thread that threaded the bands together that made it interesting. I think it wasn't like. I don't know. It's like someone not doing someone's trying to do something or something like that. I think that's probably what it was.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was just, it just like, oh man, I am someone that I want the most diverse bill possible. I'm like, that's just how I am. Like a lot of people, I know a lot of people like don't like, especially people that listen to more mainstream stuff. Like they go, they want to hear the one band, but like, I don't want to hear 4 bands that sound the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially,
So,
and the same being a musician, you want to hear like different stuff. You get bored pretty quickly. Yeah. I'm used to shows being like, most of the shows I play that with other bands in general, obviously just how the way things are. I'm used to all these years playing shows. Like there's a lot of just like people that just throw bands together in general. So it's like, I'm used to it. I kind of expect that if I go to a show, I kind of expect it to be kind of varied a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. So look, I want to talk about Pony Steps too. Your album that came. It was what 2020? Was that when that one?
At the very end. Yeah. Around September. Yeah.
So you've got a lot of different sounds on this album, right? We have a cello at one point, or most of it. We have a saxophone. The saxophone. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like if you're the real deal if you got a saxophone on an Americana song. It just.
Yeah. I'm just lucky. I mean,
you're just lucky.
Well, yeah, like the my friends, but also my my bandmates. Like I'm just ridiculously lucky. Like the saxophone is Jared, who plays bass in my band. And he's a professional musician, and he's also a professional saxophone player, professional clarinet player, all that stuff. And he's incredible. Like how he plays with my drummer, with him and that drum and the bass, like they're like solid. So it's like I'm just lucky. I know these people are my friends and they're in my band. Like I'm just lucky with that. That's how it came out. Like I heard a couple, like two of the songs I heard like saxophone in it. And I'm like, oh, do you want to do something for this track and this track? He's like, yeah. He brought the saxophone over and we recorded. So yeah.
Yeah. Then you have an accordion like that, and that, like I told Tony, I'm like, do you understand how in demand you are in Boston?
I know, he's like in 2,000 bands. It's so funny.
there's like three accordion players that I know of, and that's it. You know what I mean? He's one of them. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like the rhythm guitarist in Coffin Salesman, Ryan Kumi, he's an accordion player too. So like I introduced them, and I was, because yeah, so, yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun, man. I love hearing all these different sounds, and like, so when you're putting these songs together, when you're writing these songs, do you hear all this, or do you bring it to the band and they kind of bring their own little thing to it?
No, like the way it works out for me, like I hear everything. I hear everything in my head, and then I usually play all the instruments. So like I'm used to playing all the instruments and recording all of them and doing that. I've been doing that forever myself, even back in the 4-track days in the 90s, like having no band or whatever, having to make a song, I have to figure out how to do all this stuff. So I already hear everything. And most of the time I already have just a rough version recorded so that the band can listen to it. I'm like, here's this song. Here's my new song called blah, 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 whatever. And I'll email it to them. And they'll be like, if they like it, they'll be like, yeah, I like the song. This is cool. And then it's like, if we get, when they come over to practice, it's like, let's do this song. And they play it. So knowing they already heard my recording of it. And, but then they always make it better. Like they always, like the drum always does something crazy, or like they always make it better. Like, it's almost like, this is the song. This is like the bass, whatever, here it is. And if anything's important to me, I'll tell them like, oh, I want to keep this, whatever. But most of the time, they're just jamming to it. They're just like, cool, that sounds good. Let's do this. And they learn it, and they just play the song. So yeah, it's almost like I write the songs and then they play them. But I'm not like there's no like I don't know. If I can whatever, like I take it, whatever. If they want to change something, sometimes different drum beats and this and that, like it's always fun to do that. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you guys play a lot of shows a year? It seems like you guys had a busy year. Now I just discovered you beginning of this year, so it's so it seems like you guys had a full schedule though.
Yeah, like pretty much. Like it's in general, it's almost like about one show. I think the average turns out to be about one show a month. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't. Whatever venue wants to invite us back or likes us, and it's majority of them are in Lowell. Like, how much it'd be great to. I don't know how much. How much. I don't know how much can I do really to like get out there. Just so it's almost like if a show comes up, we play it. Basically.
Mm-hmm. I was on your Bandcamp and I noticed like at the bottom of like the album, you kind of go through like all the different or maybe not the bottom of the album, but on the bottom of the Bandcamp, it goes through like all the different names the band had. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
really?
yeah. So it says like, like kind of like formerly this, and let me see if I can find that again. Cause I wanted to ask about that. Like, is that something, or maybe it was on the Stop Playing Around single, right? Is that where I saw it? Where the heck is it? I saw it and it was like, it went through a couple iterations for the name, right?
Yep. For the name and almost like the people too. In a
way.
Yeah.
So was that a like trying to figure out the sound kind of thing, or was it like more or less there's different people, so we're going to name it something different now?
No, it was just, so the Bucky Freck is like a stage name. It's not even my real name. So I was just doing music as Bucky Freck.
Yeah.
And then it was like solo stuff. And then had my wife play drums. So it was like that for a little bit. But then soon after, Monica, I met Monica, who was a violin player. She's like a professional violinist. And it was the three of us for a bit. So I'm like, okay, so let's change the name a little bit. It's Bucky Freck and it was the first one was Bucky Freck and the Freelancers. Because like so Bucky Freck, and we did that for a bit, and then just my wife mentioned something about she found this painting of the Pony Express. It was very funny and cool at the thrift store, and then we're like, oh, like Bucky Freck and the Pony Express has like a better kind of like sound to. All right, whatever, just change it to Bucky Freck and the Pony Express, like it matters. Yeah. So after about like a year or two, as like with the Freelancers, we were the Bucky Freck and the Pony Express. But then Monica left. She went to she moved to Oregon with her husband, and then my wife was like, that she wasn't always 100% like stoked about playing the drums. I'm like, I got to find a full band, and I put ads out, and that's when I first met Tony. So it was me, Tony, and my wife for a bit. But then when I found the drummer John, he played, and then we added the cello player Katie, and that was the setup for a while. It was the four of us like that, and then luckily Jared came up in one of our early shows in the earliest 2010s, and was like, you guys don't have a bass player? I'm like, yeah, like we use like the cello kind of doubles as a bass player. He's like, I love you guys sound really good, like I'm a bass player, do you want, like, I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, like why don't you come over and like whatever. So he joined the band like that, and then that was like the best. That was like the fullest sound, like we had the bass, the cello, the accordion, my guitar, and the drums. And we were like a 5-piece for a long time. And we were still Bucky Freck and the Pony Express. But then, I don't know, I wrote a song called Old Rochelle. And then I just went to the band. I'm like, I don't think people are like paying attention to the name, because when people ask me what your band is, and I just go like Bucky Freck and the Pony Express, like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? It's like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, I don't know, like, what do you think about Old Rochelle for the band? Or something like the Old Rochelle. And they were just like, it's up to you, man. If you like it, whatever. And I just liked it. And I just changed it was still the same band members, but I changed to Old Rochelle. I thought it'd be easier in print and visually for people to remember the name or whatever. Yep. And I liked that song when I first wrote it. It was just, I was so excited about it. So that's it. So Old Rochelle since the Old Rochelle since then.
I like it. I like that song a lot too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Old Rochelle is a song that like would be like go through the ages, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like you get taught that song, like I don't know, working somewhere, and it's just something that kind of, because I don't.
That's amazing. That's crazy. I was just gonna say it sounded like an Irish drinking song or something.
Yeah, like a shanty song, I guess. Like you know what I'm saying? Like something that like people on the docks or on the ship sing along together, and
exactly the intention. That's so funny.
Yeah. So because I remember like when I was young, back a million years ago. But like I remember being in school and like music class, like they would teach you songs that were like that. Like that's the first iteration of music that you kind of hear when you're in the elementary school, and you'd have to sing along to them, and like and they teach you how to sing in rounds and all that stuff too. Like that just sounds like a song that would like fit like that old like. American Spirit kind of timeline,
I can see that. That's crazy. That's funny.
So it's it's like, I mean, the album's really good. It's 12 tracks, and I feel like, I don't know, like it kicks off great in like flying, and then you hit Flying Through the Ages. I think that's the first song I ever heard, because that was the one you told me to use in that promo.
I think that's the one.
So I used that one in the pro. So I was like, wow. And then I went and got the album and through Bandcamp or whatever. But like you were saying, like that old country western, like you were into that old country western stuff for a while. That couple decades there of that, and I hear that in there. The thing is, everything rock and roll music, like it all. Like there's a pretty clear path from where it started to where it is, and country western and outlaw country, like it was blues, it was all there. It was all like this thing. That's why I'm always like, screw the genres kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's so weird to be like it's almost like it's just a weird thing.
So, I mean, you can trace it all back to Robert Johnson, and I say that a lot. You know what I mean? Like everything comes from Robert Johnson.
Yeah, right there. Right there, just...
because of the versatility, I feel like in what you guys do, like with the Americana stuff, you can, and you like I said, yeah, you played this like essentially a punk show with those guys. Do you get to like kind of like the bills that you get put on? Like, I mean, you probably go like anywhere from like folk music to just rock and roll, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I love the whole punk side of it. That's the part that like fires me up. So like, if I'm ever involved at all in any kind of punk anything, like I get, because I mean that's the music I was into growing up too. Yeah. And I just coincidentally just did we did like this show at Thirsty First where I was in a Rancid cover band with
nice.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Like I was just super excited about the people that I was with were awesome. But I already knew Joel Gray. Like I've known Joel for a long time that does that Radio Clock booking. But like the other two I've just known about. And it's just great. I just liked hanging out with those guys and just also just playing those songs are just crazy, like learning them and playing them. So like yeah, that's if there's one thing that fires me up, if I'm part of a punk rock show, or like even like the year before I did the post, I illustrated the poster for the Punktoberfest or whatever. Yeah, I was just like, oh, just to, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I can other bands we're with, we fit in with like everything. Like we fit in.
Yeah, it's cool because like it's also too like I think of a band I think of like whenever I think of what punk rock is, like it's about playing the music you want to play.
Right.
There's no like it's not about the uniform, it's not about the sound, it's about doing what you want to do. So yeah. I always think of like the Minutemen. The Minutemen I feel like are they're like a perfect example of like, because they had some like country sounding songs, you know what I mean? Like
totally.
Yeah, they had a lot of twang in their guitar, you know what I'm saying? Like it was I don't know. I that's what, so like, and they were playing like during like the Black Flag era, right? So they're playing with Black Flag, like they're playing with this crazy hardcore 80s hardcore movement, and then you get them up there and they're a lot different.
Oh boy, no kidding. You're right. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, anything can fit. Yeah. Like watching people, like they'll start listening to your sound and then like instead of moshing they're dancing, right? They just start to dance. And
that made me think of right when you said it too, because you're right about because I found I remember buying that Double Nickels on a Dime album at the same time when I was into like Black Flag and Minor Threat and all that stuff. Like the history for that guy, for Dwight Yoakam, like he moved to California instead of staying in like wherever he was, like he started deciding to be in like Nashville or whatever. He moved to Los Angeles and played with like the band X and he was like known for being the weird country band that played with the punk bands, and like because he just fit in there more. And I kind of relate to that. I don't know. So that when you talk about the Minutemen and that too, that's like the same thing. It's almost like it's almost like I don't know what you're more comfortable with or what you relate.
Yeah, exactly. It's just about being like doing what you want to do, and
100%. That's all. Yeah. You're right.
So I mean, I could definitely see you guys. Like again, I can't wait to see you guys again. To be honest, I've been kind of slacking. My work schedule kind of screwed with my shows this year, but they changed me around. So
they did.
Yeah. So the end of the year, I'm cleaning up this year for the end of the year. Like there's a lot of shows I want to go to in December. Yeah. Crazy. So let me ask you. So you do a lot of different types of art too, right? Like you do like I was kind of checking. So you do a lot of the flyers, right? A lot of flyers.
I love Joe. Yeah, I do that. I do lots of things. I do that. I do like actually my job just laid me off, but I did scientific illustrations for the jobs I had for 7.5 years. It's like I'm art and music, it's I've always done that forever, very passionate about both. And I love how, like, because music's like above art for me a little bit, but like, I love how I can, use that for music stuff. Like, either doing my own posters or doing posters for other bands. Like, I love how art and music is so close together. Like, oh, what a cool poster. Like, that's great. Like for a show, like, I just love that. It's like these two things that I'm passionate about that like completely, right. Like doing album covers. I've done album covers for lots of people. Like that's like it goes together so well. Yeah. So,
now, did I see something where like you do art with like wood, right? Do you, or is it paint with wood or?
Yeah. I've got painted with wood, all that stuff. Like I do a lot of illustrations, but I got like, I love acrylic on wood, and I haven't done a lot of that recently. I've been doing a lot of show posters and just kind of like pen and ink illustration stuff. But I love painting on acrylic on wood. Something about it just, I don't know, it just feels like I don't know, just like art from the ground or some just kind of like dirty art.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Now, is there a different approach? So I don't know much about that world, but like, is there a different approach and like technique on how you would like work on something that's wood as opposed to like canvas or like do you, like digital or anything like do you have to approach each project differently or?
I don't think so. Not really. No. I mean, besides like, the limit, whatever, I guess limitations might be the right word. I'm not sure of whatever you're painting on, like canvas and wood and paper, like it's like different initial approach, but nothing different because, for wood, like, you'll sketch on the wood first. It's almost like you're drawing and then you just paint over that. Same thing for canvas and all that stuff. So like, there's no real difference. It's just you just something on canvas it's gonna come out like that, like all that. It's gonna be all flat and stuff. But
what makes you decide what's gonna like what, I don't know, canvas or wood, what, like, if do you know what I'm saying, like what makes you decide that's what you're gonna use?
Yeah, good question. Well, I mean, obviously if it's for a show poster it's just gonna be papers. But I mean, it's just like I just have some of the stuff on my wall and stuff. It's just like, if I'm going to make that, I'll put this on canvas. I'll just put that on wood. There's a wood one hanging up. There's a canvas one hanging up. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's almost like I should do this. I haven't done this in a while. Let me grab that canvas. I have a bunch of blank canvases still, different sizes. Like, this is a good size. Let's do this in front of the TV today and then draw a little bit. I haven't drawn in a while. So yeah. So it's like that.
Yeah. Now, so I write, right? And I write, this is like where I understand art in a way, like, cause it's like, I write because I have to, like, I want to, but I also have to, like, I have to get everything out. I have to, it helps me process things. It helps me feel better. Like we do this thing because we have to. It doesn't matter if we're making money for it or not. We have to do this. Now, with that said, like, doing different styles of art like you do, like does it hit you, like does each one fulfill something differently? Like when do you, like, so if you just feel creative one day, do you go, all right, today I'm going to write a song, or does it like kind of hit you like, all right, it's time to write a song?
Oh yeah. For me, it hits me. It's not like I don't plan anything.
Yeah. So you don't just pick like whatever comes at you and you have to do that.
Yeah. I learned to not force anything too, especially with songs. Yeah, exactly. And it's not like I'm waiting for it. It's almost like, you don't think about it. And then you back of your mind, it's like, oh, I haven't written a song in a while, but it's almost like, oh, well, I got no control over that. Like, I'm not going to write something because I haven't written in a while. I just, there's a really cool quote that I don't remember the whole thing that Willie Nelson said, something about, when you're a songwriter, like, and this could apply for everything, I think, anything creative, it's almost like water filling up in a well. So it's almost like you use up all the water. It's like, don't worry about it. Even if it's slow, that water will fill back up. Like, and I always operated on that because it relieves the anxiety of anything. And it's just whenever something happens, like, you pick up your guitar, like, to practice, if you actually find time to practice, like, by yourself. And 9 times out of 10, nothing comes out of it. But then, like, say you practice for a little bit longer and you just do this weird chord or something, and you're just like, oh my God, that sounds good. And then if a melody comes to you from that, like, it's like, that's how a lot of songs are born. Or for me, or just going about my day and something just like enters my head or something. You know what I mean? Like some cool melody that I'm like, this would be a good chorus. Like, what the hell? I can't forget this. Like, you think about it all day and like, oh, this is good. And you go home, you're like, okay. There's a lot of different scenarios that happens, but it's I hope that answers the question. For me, everyone's different. I know people that write on purpose, but for me, I don't force anything. I just
when it comes, when it hits you, you got to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Does that work with drawing and stuff too? Like when
yeah. I mean, well, a disclaimer for all this stuff. I wish I had time to live in both of those worlds as much as possible. It just sucks how much life and gets in the way of everything. So, I wish it was doing both of those full time. That I could talk like a true full time artist and whatever. But yeah. Oh, I forgot the question. I'm so sorry. What was the question?
No, does it when you draw, does it just hit you and then you got to do it, or is it do you plan it kind of?
Oh yeah, no. If I'm lucky enough to be calm for enough time to think of the idea to pick up my sketchbook or whatever, and I start drawing, then that's when I'll draw. I got 2 show posters I got to do. Now, so it almost feels like I got a lot of random, but I have random small projects to do for other people, and that's most of the time when I'm like, okay, I gotta get my sketchbook out, I gotta figure this out. So most of the time that's what it makes me do something, because I have to do something. I have a deadline for somebody, unfortunately. But but when things are calm enough, whenever the hell that is, I have sketchbooks underneath the coffee table in front of the TV upstairs. So yeah, I'll take it out and be like, okay, because I don't pay that much attention to TV anyway, and then I'll start drawing or whatever. But it helps to have projects, either like an album coming out or a new sticker. I could just design a new sticker for the band, stuff like that. I was busy doing that for a bit. I was happy figuring out this idea I had for an Old Rochelle sticker, and I just finished it maybe 4 days ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Stuff like that. It's almost like, for me, if there's a product or something that's going to happen after it, I'll be working on it. Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, so I think I saw something on your. Let me see. I'm on the Instagram for Old Rochelle.
It was the one with the clove cigarettes. It's very simple, super simple, not detailed. Almost kids drawing almost, but yeah.
So you guys have a song called Sun City? It's a new song?
Oh, I love that song. Yeah. That's right now. Yeah. The only version of that is
that one video clip?
I wish I could have given you a clip. See, that one is not, that's all me playing. That's all me playing all the instruments and everything.
Oh,
so
really?
There's a lot of new songs that I haven't recorded with the band. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record this, put it out as Bucky Farek, just to have because it's in my head. I got to get it out.
Yeah.
So, So, I mean, just recently the band, I released that song, I think probably 2 years ago. And just recently the band learned that song. We played it for the first time.
Oh, okay. So I saw a video clip on there on the Instagram that you get with the whole band. And so that was the first time the whole band played it as live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Almost 2 years or more after I released it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So is there, what's coming up for Old Rochelle? You recording anything? You guys have any plans?
The only answer for that is, I guess, recording, because right now there's no shows right now. We just had a show 3 weeks ago at that Kodo place in Salem.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, not Salem, in Lowell.
They're in Lowell. It's huge, right? They put up they got a big place now.
Yeah, it's nice. They got a big stage there. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. And the only answer for that right now is the album, because I got way enough songs to make an album. So we just got to get everybody out here and record the album. That's basically it. That's been what we've been talking about. That's the main thing we've been talking about and trying to coordinate. That's it.
Yeah. Do you record at your place, or do you go to a studio?
Yeah, record at my place, and I'm super excited because I like how this new album's going to come out. I like the bunch of songs I got to choose from. I like all these new songs I wrote, and it's going to be different because I have a different setup than the first album. I got better equipment and all that stuff, and so I don't know. I'm excited to try new stuff, recording almost most of it live type of stuff, or just the first album we would have people come over and the band would come over and lay down their tracks type of thing. That was the theme for that whole album. But whatever. I'm excited to do it. It's hard with everyone's schedule. Everyone's so busy. Everyone is. Families or crazy jobs or something.
Yeah. So, all right. So, where can people find Old Rochelle? Where can they find your music? where can they find like social media?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Just, you can go on Spotify or Apple Music, any of those streaming things, and type up Old Rochelle. It should pop right up. The website is either the oldrochelle.com or oldrochelle.com. Both go right to the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
The music is right there. You can listen to it right on the website. That's basically it. Besides stuff like, like Bandcamp also. And
that's where the people can find, if you have CDs still.
I still have the CDs of the first album. The Pony Steps. I still got some. The second printing, I just did the sleeves. So like I still got those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, Bucky, when it's time for the new album, let's come back. Maybe come back. Maybe bring some of the other band members. We'll have a sit. Maybe I'll show up in Lowell with all my equipment.
That'd be excellent. I would love that. That would be cool.
Maybe I'll swindle you guys into playing a song live on the podcast.
Of course, 100%.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. This has been awesome, man. I'm happy we finally got a chance to do this.
Chatting with you and hanging with you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I apologize for all the rescheduling issues we had, and
apologies necessary. No worries.
Yeah, but seriously, when it's time, let me know, and we'll get you guys back on.
That's amazing. I want to thank you very much for having me. It's amazing.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you. All right, and that's the show. I want to thank Bucky again for being today's guest on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you will find all links to Old Rochelle. I want to thank Chris Chavez and Jeff Bousquet for being producers of the show. Follow them over on Instagram. You can find Jeff at JRB Image, and you can find Chris Chavez at 716 The Sound. Thank you to State Line Records for sponsoring the podcast. Head over to statelinerecords.com, or you could probably still do getpunk.com to get over there. See what Mark has on the label and what's for sale. Pick something up. Maybe he's reissuing something. Maybe he'll drop something new soon. Who knows? Head over to statelinerecords.com and check that out. We also want to give a big shout out to Loser's Circle for allowing us to use their song Great Illusion of Time off of their album Took Long Enough. There is always a link in our link tree and on our website to find that album if you want to buy it. It is an essential for punk rock vinyl, I tell you. Thank you to everybody over at Patreon supporting us. If you want to see what's going on over there, head to patreon.com/podcast TSA. The tiers are not expensive. They are not at all. And it helps the podcast with growing, with getting equipment, doing events, being able to do things. And we always try to do what we can for the patrons over there. There's a bunch of shows over there you can check out, as well as whenever we have an event or any kind of thing that's like related, like, I don't know, recording relating. Everyone who's a patron is a executive producer of the project. Thank you to everybody who listens to the podcast, because as I always say, if a podcast falls in the woods, is there anyone there to hear it? And the answer is no. So thank you all for listening to us. It is much appreciated. Everyone who texts or calls the hotline, emails the hotline. Emails me at trev@thestrugglingartistpodcast.com. Thank you so much. The kind words, the suggestions on who to book. It is much appreciated. We have quite the list right now, but anybody who has sent me someone to book, I will. We just have to get caught up with the list that we have. All right, it's time to get out of here with a song, and Bucky was kind enough to give us a track off of Old Rochelle's album, Pony Steps. The song is called Flying Through the Ages. Until next time, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you then.
Nights are getting colder, children getting older. I ain't smarter or bolder, I still don't know what's good for me. I've been a fool, people the lie, and I have led them to danger, but nothing's been so right than making a new life with my wife and child by my side. Some old forgotten melody, but that's when I feel the realest